Comment ça va? That means how you doing. Welcome to Cajun Craftastrophe. Me, I'm Tinu, and
welcome to the podcast.
It's not a podcast.
Well, what do you call it when two grown men sit around with microphones in front of their face?
Usually a podcast.
Well, case closed. What? Sometimes the truth hurts.
So this is episode 2 of Let's Make a Mini Movie with Space Rabbit. Let's do a quick recap to see where we're at. So I went to the dollar store to pick up some cheap items to build props with, like this ball here. I wanted to create this spaceship as a prop. Instead, I built 2. One as a hero prop and one as a stunt ship. I also destroyed my Space Rabbit sculpture in order to rebuild him as a stop-motion puppet. Hello, Clarice. And finally, I did a quick VFX test to make sure that the ship could fly. Backgrounds. So I've decided that the backgrounds I want to try to do are going to be a real rough styled watercolors, and then I'll ink in the lines. And this one right here is the spaceship background for Space Rabbit's nemesis.
Why on earth does he have goldfish? Thought you said this was a spaceship.
It's sushi for long trips. Ooh, he needs to water his plants.
Don't try to change the subject. You lack consistency here. You always have.
Well, I'm trying.
Look at these backgrounds. I'm gonna rate this as amateur at best.
You know what I'm doing here, Daddy, is just making a background. I'm not trying to make a work of art.
Now, who is this?
I'm just testing the background to make sure that it works with my actors. We'll talk about him later.
Fine. I wanted to get back to your sloppy illustrations anyway.
Well,
and look at this. Sloppy watercolors too. Tinu, you shaming the family name.
Oh, mercy, no. But hear me out on these backgrounds. I'm just looking for a feeling. The feeling like it's hand-drawn. The feeling like it's a spaceship interior. The feeling of looseness. There's so many ways to do backgrounds, and you can spend as much time as you like on them. But what I'm looking for here is just a specific style.
Style!
I took a picture of both of the finished backgrounds and brought them into Photoshop just so we could play around with some looks, because really, there are a million ways you could go here, probably more. I just made a solid layer of orange in Photoshop, and I'm just playing around with the blending modes. Now what the blending modes do in this particular case is it takes that orange solid, and depending on the type of blending mode that you choose, it blends the pixels together in a different way. And man, this is a powerful tool if you haven't played around with it. It's how graphic designers really get some cool and interesting looks. And of course, this technique can be applied to anything. So let's say, for example, you have a picture of a tree and it's too green and you want to make it more like wintertime, but stylized. So here's some backgrounds that I built for this animation that I did from my wife. So I took a bunch of pictures and then brought them into Photoshop, mixed them and matched them, and then tried to make them all feel like they were in the same world. Let's look at the clip.
Inflicted most of us before the night was over. I remember a haunted house bearing a giant sign saying grotesque, accompanied by papier-mâché zombies with rats eating the flesh off of their undead rib cages.
So there you go. You can make backgrounds out of almost anything. You can use drawings or photographs or video or digital media. Man, almost anything you want. Knock yourself out.
Tinu, what are you doing? You're trying to give me a heart attack? You're gonna kill me.
That's just Space Rabbit's nemesis. He's an intergalactic hookworm.
I don't even know how to respond to that. So why don't you tell me what's going on with this clay?
Yeah, I'm just mixing up this non-drying clay to try to get the shade of green similar to my worm guy. So I'm just gonna totally rebuild him out of clay. And that way we have some claymation in our little animated film. We're just experimenting with all kind of different mediums and techniques. So I thought I was gonna build the eye out of clay, but then I quickly realized that this yellow will get contaminated by the other colors, and I want to do a black pupil using clay. So I made a little eyeball out of epoxy sculpt, and if we're lucky, that's gonna work just fine. But we're gonna have to paint it. What do you think of that, Daddy?
What? I'm sorry, I tuned you out about a minute ago.
Best co-host ever.
Hey, try to keep it punchy and I'm gonna stay awake.
Back to the video. Right here, painting the eyeball. Got my little tape holder, some titanium white, and I'm gonna paint it on real thick. Real thick.
Oh, and look at this, some yellow paint. Now, does that make you happy if I just repeat what people can see with their own eyes?
A little.
Okay, I would talk about this if I had any idea what I was looking at.
This is a Star Wars action figure that I converted into a stop motion puppet like a few weeks ago. So I'm trying to color match the clay so I can cover up his mouth because he only has one expression. And this is gonna help me give him more life.
So then you're gonna bake that clay on like with that weird cat thing you built?
Kitty Catastrophe?
If you say so.
No, I'm sticking with the same non-drawing clay. This way I'll be able to sculpt his mouth as I'm animating and it's gonna give me more flexibility. See, look, I can just change his mouth to be whatever I want. Then smooth it back over and then change it again.
So is he the snake's best friend?
It's not a snake, it's a worm. And no, he's Space Rabbit's co-pilot.
Oh, sounds like somebody worked on the story.
Maybe a little. So to make him feel a little more like an alien, I want to give him some tentacles on his head. So he's a regular action figure puppet on the bottom and claymation on the top. That's called a twofer.
Deep in an underground bunker, General Maintenance, that's this guy here, has Space Rabbit's 2 spaceship props under lock and key. It's all top secret. So I really hope y'all can understand this, because I'm just reading this off of a little card, but I'm totally lost.
Props, more props.
Tinu, come on, man. That thing's like a toy for a baby. Yeah, but it can also be a rocket ship. See that? You just gotta customize it a little bit. Watch out. I'm gonna use Magic Sculpt to try to like cover up these holes. So I put this tape in here as a backing so the Magic Sculpt has something to stick to. As far as I can tell, this stuff and epoxy sculpt are pretty much identical. This is a 2-part epoxy clay, which means you have to mix 50-50 of the A part and the B part together, and then it'll dry rock hard, so strong. Water helps you to mix this stuff together real easy, and it also helps when you want to smooth it out. Spaceship. Portal. This is the little clay pupil that I was talking about earlier. So you shoot a frame, you move it, shoot a frame, move it, shoot a frame, move it, and you do that a lot. And then when you play it back at 24 frames a second, it looks like his eyes moving. Now look at all the expression you can get with just a little eyebrow. See, he's mad, he's surprised, he's a little bit sad on the verge of tears maybe, and he's bored. Now he's surprised and mad. Okay, now this is for the eye blink. You just cover up the eye. Might make that a little darker. Mounting stick. Not a pleasant procedure. And he's angry again. Now, while I'm painting up this little spaceship, I just wanted to take a minute to tell you guys out there that the comment section here has been a beautiful, beautiful thing. Thank you all so very, very much. Oh, look at that red paint.
Okay, everybody, I'm back. I had to have lunch.
Good to know.
Ham and cheese sandwich.
One sandwich.
2 ham and it was 2.
Any other important information that the audience should know?
No, the cheese is not cheese. It's chewies. That's what makes it crunchy.
Wow.
The ham is just ham.
Spaceships. We're painting spaceships. Focus, 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 focus. Alright, let's get focused. What are we doing here? We're building props and actors for our movie. But Tinu, you said we were gonna try to figure out the story.
When you talk to yourself in that other voice like that, it worries me. But he's right. You did say that about the story.
Then we all agree. So let's talk about the story.
Story.
Sometimes in animation, I do this thing which I call a loose story. Now, usually in animation, you have to have everything laid out perfectly. You start off with the dialogue track, which is recorded first.
All right, here we go.
And then you animate to that. And there's some editing that's done to tighten things up and move stuff around in big modular parts. But lately, I've been filming just extra beats. And this is similar to like when you're filming actors and they improvise or you have several takes to choose from. I'm just grabbing a little extra so that I have room to play as the stories continue to develop even into the edit. Now, there's a few things that I know about this upcoming scene. It will star Space Rabbit and his nemesis, the Intergalactic Hookworm. It's going to include a space battle using Space Rabbit's ship and the Intergalactic Hookworm ship. Space Rabbit's co-pilot, who my daddy named Danny.
Because of the fried chicken.
Of course. I also will be including a ground control base, but I haven't found the perfect actress to play the part of the dispatcher yet. No. Listen to me. I'm here now. I snuck into the set, and I'm trying not to look creepy. Now you get me an audition. I don't care if I have to play the family dog, but the part's gotta have good dialogue. Okay, you got it? Good. Click. Oh, hey, what's up? How are you? So far we got a space battle, Space Rabbit, Intergalactic Hookworm, Co-Pilot, and a ground control dispatcher. No, oh no, Space Rabbit, don't you dare land that thing here.
Cut! This is not really working out.
Look, let's just run it again. I'll try a different motivation for the character.
No. Next.
Now you just wait 1 second. I will not be humiliated in front of... Ow! Ow! Hey, ow! Quit it! Hey, quit it! Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you every beat of this story because that would spoil all the fun. But what usually happens at this point is that I'll sometimes do storyboards or Pre-Viz animations, especially if I'm working with other people and need to communicate an idea clearly. Now, I have a fast and fun way to do storyboards, especially if you have trouble drawing, but that will take an entire video to cover. But I'll do that soon if you guys are interested. Okay, we're getting close to having all the bases covered here. We built our co-pilot, our main baddie, a crazy sock puppet, and 2 watercolor backgrounds for our spaceships. We also covered a little more of the story and looked at some pre-visualization and storyboard techniques. So I think on the next episode, we're gonna start filming and then do a little post-production. But first I have to figure out how I'm gonna show all of that. In case you don't know, I'm improvising here. There's no guarantee that this thing is gonna turn out at all, let alone turn out good. But I'm gonna try, and I hope you'll join me. And in the meantime, go get your craft on.